Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to another episode of Funday Sunday. And oh boy, we have a good match up for you guys, and this is going to be a very close game. We are currently playing on Trap, and this is obviously the new and updated Trap, which I will talk a little bit about the map in a moment. I am joined with Imperial in the Conqueror, and yes, I know, before I get all the hate, yes, I understand how broken this ship is and how it's designed for brain dead idiots, but he is taking out the Conqueror. I am currently taking out the Hindenburg, which I will admit I'm not the best at. It's a ship I generally have a very low survivability rating in it, so not overly great with the ship, but I am working on to being a little bit better. We have a Missouri, Alabama, Tirpitz, Minotaur, Hindenburg, Baltimore, Buki, Edinburgh, Gearing, Z46, and a Z23. On the enemy team, there is also a Conqueror, a Missouri, the Richelieu. I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. I will try to get that better. Tirpitz, 2 Hindenburgs, Baltimore, Neptune, Charles Motel, Gearing, a Z46, and a Benson. All right, let's go ahead and first off, let's talk about the map. The map has changed a little bit. The spawning's the same, the caps are in the same position, but the islands themselves have been altered slightly. As you can see, there is actually an opening on both sides of B instead of a single solid chain that does allow you to push in through the middle, which is, I think, is a really nice detail. I believe there has been also alterations to the height of some islands to allow you to fire more, well, to be able to fire over without too much difficulty, even with, say, a Moskva or a Hindenburg. So I do have to say, I do like this new kind of setup. There's also, I think, an addition on the island southeast of C. I don't think that island was there prior to the update. So I do like the new setup for Trap. I definitely like it also for the new Tears of the Desert, which I think is extremely beneficial, and that is actually kind of really cool to see. The Ibuki actually has better range. Now I do run on my Hindenburg the reload module instead of the rain module. Just gives you more damage output. Yes, you can't fire as far as away. You can only fire up to 17.8 kilometers. And this Baltimore just decides to slow down and disappear. But unfortunately, no one is currently spotting him. Salvo is away. And I'm a very big proponent for firing AP with the Hindenburg. It's very powerful. And I was very annoyed when they basically increased the HE shell penetration. That just downright ticked me off, because honestly the Hindenburg didn't need it. Its whole, I guess you could say, gimmick of the German cruiser line was the fact that its AP was very good, very high damaging, very low penetration, so you can't get those very nice penetrations. It really does rely on a ship being broadside. But with its buff to its HE, I don't like it. And a lot of Hindenburgs just will fire HE non-stop. And once again, that's just my personal opinion. This is coming from someone who has played the Hindenburg, has played the German line prior to being the update, and now currently seeing a lot of people just using HE, which, I mean, that's what a lot of cruisers use, is HE. It's a great strategy, especially to burn down enemy battleships. So right now I am starting to push in. Now I do have a fighter flying overhead hoping to spot, but the Baltimore was smoked up, radared, and we did lose our Minotaur very early in the battle. Now AP against a Gearing is actually fairly decent, as you will see. We should hopefully take out this Gearing. This Gearing needs to go down very quickly. Look at that, 3k damage with AP. Gearing went down very quickly there, so that has definitely helped us quite dramatically with kind of staying ahead. Now our team is doing a really good job. We do have B, and we are currently capping C, but we left A completely all by itself. It looks like the enemy team is currently capping it, and it does look like I have attracted some attention from the enemy Hindenburgs. And see, this is just the thing that just annoys me, is the fact that this is what Hindenburgs do. And yes, I understand. I understand completely. But Hindenburg HE nowadays is very powerful. Very powerful indeed. And I would almost say it's can be very devastating for any unlucky individual that does essentially be focused down by 2 Hindenburgs. As you can see, we are currently being focused down by a few, but we should be able to escape out of this cap fairly quickly with somewhat minimal amount of damage. Now, once again, I'm not the most amazing Hindenburg player. It's just the unfortunate thing. It's not generally my choice on ship. So, I mean, if you do see me make mistakes, I make mistakes. That's no biggie. Do kind of switch my attention to this Neptune. We are getting around the corner, but unfortunately, we are leaving B open to being captured. But it's a good decision for me to actually pull away, because that is about 5, almost essentially the entire enemy team is now pushing towards the B cap. But there is a Conqueror, and I believe one of the cruisers southeast of C. And things are going to get a little rough, to be perfectly honest. Now, we are going to start to try to ensure that the enemy team does not take B. We are behind in points. We did lose 3 ships to their 2, so things aren't looking so good at the moment. But once again, this little gap in the islands is extremely beneficial. Allows you to open up on any ship that decides to push in. Under lead there, but we got some hits, which is not too bad. But we'll see that Neptune in a little bit, so just keep an eye on him. But this island works, or this gap works both ways. If you're able to shoot through it, people can shoot through back at you, so do have to be a little bit careful. Hoping this Missouri would be extremely stupid, but it does not look like that's going to be the case. And we are currently running our Hydro, because there is the enemy Hindenburg starting to push out. Gonna try to focus on him. Always good idea to be careful whenever combating other Hindenburgs. Now, Hindenburg is one of the few cruisers that actually does have turtleback armor, and that means at close range his armor protects him from citadels for the most part, depending on the size of caliber. But usually for any cruisers this close range, you won't get citadels. But he obviously is very well aware of his potential weakness, and he is currently combating both myself in the Hindenburg and a friendly cruiser to the north of us, which is the Ibuki. But the Ibuki is extremely low in health. But I am trying to be cautious, because there is the enemy French battleship starting to push in, and hoping to get torpedoes off, and also trying not to show my broadside either. But unfortunately, we do once again have the French battleship incoming. But I do have Imperial right behind me. He is going to try to help out with this Hindenburg, hopefully kill him. Torpedoes our way. These torpedoes do have a 6-kilometer range, and this is one thing that the Hindenburg is fantastic. She is a great brawler. I would say by far the best brawler you're ever going to find, just due to the fact that she does have turtleback armor. Her guns, albeit turn somewhat slow depending on what module you get, but with the upgrade to it, it's very powerful. And she does once again have torpedoes. She has 8 torpedoes on each side, which is very potent. And now I have actually pulled back. This is gonna at least try to help me prevent from taking damage from the enemy Hindenburg, because you normally don't want to have a unfair battle against you. If at all you want unfair against the enemy ship, which is currently happening to this enemy Hindenburg. So this enemy Hindenburg should be going down. I am not getting rid of this fire, because once again the Hindenburg can set me on fire, and we do have 2 heals, so we should be able to pull back from that. Does look like Imperial does take out the enemy Hindenburg, and now that leaves a Rochelle and a Neptune. Now the Neptune, I understand fully what it is capable of, but it is a squishy ship. Extremely squishy. Now, all this time, look what has happened. We have only 5 ships versus 8 ships. So it's almost 2 to 1 at the moment. Neptune is very low in health. I want to focus him down. He is popping his smoke, but one thing, this Neptune is going to be sitting still. His secondaries are open up on me, and there we go. We get the kill on the enemy Neptune, which is very, very nice. But a little bit prior, we got hit, and our torpedoes on our port side, at least one tube, got reset. Got hit and got reset. So we only have 1 spread of torpedoes, not 2. I'm expecting 2 to actually hit. Unfortunately, we don't outright kill them. Rochelle misses us quite dramatically, and Z46 is now starting to push up. I'm going to allow Imperial to finish off the enemy battleship while I do switch my attention to the Z46. HE is now loaded. Fortunately, guns are taking a little bit of time. I do have Hydro obviously available. Z46 comes out, and there we go. Got the kill on the Z46. Now, in that time, we have actually brought ourselves closer to the enemy team. There is a Missouri sitting broadside, and I do switch over to AP because a broadside Missouri against a Hindenburg with AP loaded, it's going to be a bad time for this Missouri. Now, we are currently being protected by the smoke. As long as I don't open up with my main guns, we won't be detected. But I do have now torpedoes ready, and I'm going to go ahead and start pulling away and opening up once again on this broadside Missouri. Look at that, 6,400 points of damage right there. We should be able to take out this enemy Missouri. Now, our team is down 1 ship. This Missouri should go down very quickly. I don't want to show him a lot of broadside. Yes, once again, broadside Hindenburg at this range could easily not be citadeled, but does look like Imperial takes the kill on that. And at the moment, our team is ahead in points. We are even on ships. We have 2 caps, but unfortunately, one of our destroyers is now dead. And now it is 3 versus 4, and the points have once again swapped. So all that's left on our team is a Missouri. Fairly low health. He is currently healing. We do have a Conqueror, which is, well, anyone that is aware of the Conqueror's ability, you're looking at maybe 3 ships worth of health right there, honestly. And obviously myself, and I only have 1 heal left. So right now we're really debating on what we need to do. I think a good idea would be trying to capture A, because more than likely an enemy team is going to try to capture C. They did have a cruiser, I believe is the Hindenburg, heading towards C right now. There is a Tirpitz and an enemy Conqueror and a very low health Charles Martel alive. So right now I think it is going to be more prudent if A is captured, because we are going to lose C. That is fairly obvious. And right now we are just now starting to catch back up on points, and there's still around 6 minutes left within this battle, and things are going to get interesting, to say the very least. All right, let's see. Conqueror shows up, and things are not good. Now I do hold my fire because that Conqueror can easily even melt down a cruiser. And Charles Martel is now shown. Obviously, I'm going to focus him down. Going to try to kill him as quick as possible. Very low in health. If we get rid of his guns, that's going to be less fires that are available. And of course, I get a low damage roll, and he lives with 633. But there we go. Got the kill on the enemy Charles Martel. And since I'm already detected, I am able to continue firing. Might as well try to help support. And this Conqueror, unfortunately, is not really going for what I was hoping for. I was hoping he would turn broadside so we can definitely rack up the damage, because Conqueror can heal a lot of its light damage. A lot. And unfortunately, HE is very prone to causing fires, which, I mean, definitely is beneficial if a Conqueror is focused, can go down pretty quickly, even with that ungodly heal. But unfortunately, we have just lost our Missouri to the enemy Hindenburg, and the Tirpitz is now pushing into B. And things aren't looking so hot. Imperial is currently fighting the enemy Conqueror. Enemy Conqueror is being smart, is staying bow in on Imperial. So Imperial has no choice but to use HE. But we did get another fire on that Conqueror, so he's going to start whittling down. And we have finally stepped onto the A cap. C cap is currently being captured at this moment. B is also being captured as well. Unfortunately, Imperial has just taken a big hit there. Unfortunately for myself, I had to pull away. Yes, I know I probably should have kept heading towards A, but more than likely this Conqueror would have focused me down. I do have AP loaded for this Conqueror. If we can get a good hit on him, we should be able to finish him off. And Imperial is extremely low in health. He is only with 2,155, but once again, the Conqueror has a very special ability, and that is the new ship button. Just watch how much health Imperial gets back with the Conqueror's heal. Now, the Conqueror also has really good low detect, so that is going to prove to his benefit because he's able to pull away, get a little bit of time to actually start healing. And at this moment, we are currently resetting the Tirpitz and actually getting quite a few defended base flags there. Now, I am firing AP. I probably, and there you do see that I do switch over to HE. But once again, I just prefer the AP on the Hindenburg. Yes, HE is extremely beneficial. Yes, I should fire HE because he can get fire damage, and fire damage is more beneficial because it can take off a huge chunk of health fairly quickly. I know this. I'm aware of this. So, yes, at the moment, things aren't looking so hot. There is a Tirpitz and Hindenburg versus a Hindenburg and a Conqueror. Tirpitz, don't know why. Don't know why he decides this, but he decides to continue selling around the island. Gets reset once again. And keep in mind, we are actually ahead in points. And we have the same number of caps as the enemy team. Now, right now, I don't really want to face off against both a Tirpitz and a Hindenburg, but I don't think I'm going to have much of a choice. This Tirpitz is selling broadside, and let's actually take a look at Imperial. Look at that. He went from 1,000 points of health to 41,000 points of health. 40,000 points of health gained in that time, which is just ridiculous. I do pop my Hydro because Tirpitz, being one of the few battleships, does actually have torpedoes. And so I do make sure I have Hydra running just in case. Now, enemy Hindenburg is starting to come around the corner. And I do drop my own torpedoes. I'm going to focus on him. I'm going to let Imperial focus on the enemy Tirpitz. And we also have torpedoes. Might as well use it to face off against that Tirpitz as well. Alright, Hindenburg is coming around the corner. I do heal that fire. I probably really should heal up, but for whatever reason I completely forget this. I'm actually kind of surprised that I haven't used my heal, but there we earned High Caliber and Confederate, and I think had I used my heal, I would have lasted longer. We do get torpedoes on the Tirpitz. He is currently flooding and is going to go down to Imperial. Their Imperial has just earned Kraken. Very, very nice. All that's left on the enemy team is this enemy Hindenburg, and this should be a piece of cake. But right there, you can see the power of the Hindenburg against even a broadside Conqueror. Did about 10,000 points of damage, and he should get another heal off. There we go. Look at that. Just look how much health he gains back. And this is why I consider this ship extremely broken. But unfortunately for the enemy team, time is now up, and we are leading the leaderboard with about 100 points more. So not a bad game. Very close.